Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. The Golden Bachelorettes Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple got engaged almost a year ago, and I know why they aren't married yet. Joan became the first woman to lead the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 when the show first aired in September 2024. The show finished filming around August 2024 when Chock proposed to Joan. Since they got engaged, Chock and Joan have been seemingly disinterested in actually tying the knot. While most Bachelor Nation relationships don't actually end in marriage, I thought Chock and Joan might be the exception. However, it's become very clear why the Golden Bachelorette cast members haven't made it to the altar yet. Joan and Chock have been engaged for over a year. Joan and Chock met on night 1 while filming the Golden Bachelorette, and Joan showed interest in Chock immediately. According to Cosmopolitan, Joan and Chock filmed their first one-on-one date at Disneyland on June 24, 2024. The date went well, with Chock saying this about his experience. "We've got so much in common. We've got the same values, the same morals. I like her, and I want to get to know Joan better." As the season went on, Chock seemed to get territorial over Joan, and his jealousy started to show. While this could have made him the villain of the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, instead it proved Chock's love for Joan. Joan gave him her final rose, and he proposed. At the time, it seemed like we might have another Bachelor Nation wedding on our hands. Joan and Chock are too concerned with their influencer lifestyles. Although it's been about a year since Chock got down on one knee, he and Joan seem no closer to actually getting married. One reason could be their careers. Both have become influencers since their time on the ABC dating show. Joan has almost 200,000 Instagram followers, while Chock has almost 82,000. People often become influencers after appearing on dating shows, but I had hoped Joan and Chock would be different. Unfortunately, their branded content posts make me think Joan and Chock both had ulterior motives for appearing on the Golden Bachelorette. It's possible they just wanted fame and a career boost, and that neither really cared about finding a romantic partner. However, they are still engaged, which shows there must be some love between them. If they were serious, Joan and Chock would not be long distance. Despite being together for a year, Joan and Chock are still in a long-distance relationship. Because of this, I don't know if Joan and Chock will ever get married. Of course, they both have good reasons for not wanting to move. Chock has a thriving business in Wichita, Kansas, and Joan has her life in Maryland. Plus, Joan has said she wants to move to New York. Until they live together in the same location, I don't think Joan and Chock will want to get married. After all, they can't promise to spend the rest of their lives together if they've never lived in the same state. Hopefully, the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 leads to a wedding, but I'm not holding my breath. Love story: Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple's journey to forever. The unexpected encounter. The sun dipped low over the serene Napa Valley vineyards, painting the sky in hues of rose gold and lavender. Joan Vassos, the radiant Golden Bachelorette, adjusted her wide-brimmed hat and took a slow sip of her Merlot. The winery was a far cry from the hectic reality TV set she just left behind. Here, the air was filled with the soft hum of cicadas and the scent of ripe grapes. Joan was celebrating, not just the end of her season, but the promise of new beginnings. She had never imagined that at 62, after decades of heartbreak and resilience, she would finally open her heart again to love. Chock Chapple arrived at the tasting room, his presence both commanding and gentle. A former NFL player turned entrepreneur, Chock had the kind of charisma that made people lean in when he spoke. He was there on a whim, a business trip to discuss a potential vineyard investment, but fate had other plans. Their eyes met across the room. Joan's lips curled into a shy smile, and Chock's rugged jawline softened. Neither knew it yet, but this moment was the prologue to a love story that would captivate hearts everywhere. Sparks and conversations. The next day, they bumped into each other again, this time at a local cafe nestled between olive trees and wildflowers. Joan was sketching a scene of the vineyard, while Chock was engrossed in his laptop. "Mind if I join you?" Chock asked, his voice a deep baritone that made Joan's pulse quicken. "Please," she replied, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. What began as a casual conversation about wine and weather quickly blossomed into a deep exchange of life stories, hopes, and dreams. Joan shared tales of her previous love lost to time, and Chock spoke candidly about his transition from football to business. Hours slipped by unnoticed. The first date that changed everything. Chock invited Joan to a sunset picnic overlooking the valley. Wrapped in a soft blanket with a basket of gourmet delights between them, the two laughed and talked under a sky studded with stars. Joan's heart, long guarded, began to soften. Chock's kindness and authenticity were magnetic. He wasn't just a fleeting charm, he was someone who saw her soul. As the night grew quiet, Chock took Joan's hand. "I know this might sound sudden, but I feel like I've known you forever." Joan's eyes glistened with tears. "I feel the same." They shared their first kiss beneath the shimmering moonlight, a moment so perfect it felt like destiny. Love in the limelight. News of their budding romance quickly spread. Fans of Joan's Olden Bachelorette season watched with bated breath as this new chapter unfolded. But love in the public eye came with challenges. Paparazzi lurked, and whispers of doubt circulated. Could Joan, a woman of grace and experience, truly find happiness in a whirlwind romance? Was Chock ready for the scrutiny? Yet Joan and Chock stood strong, their bond deepening. They spent weekends hiking, attending charity galas, and simply enjoying quiet moments away from the cameras. The proposal. One balmy summer evening, Chock took Joan back to the vineyard where they first met. The rows of grapes shimmered under fairy lights, and soft music played in the background. With a trembling hand, Chock knelt on one knee and opened a velvet box revealing a stunning ring. "Joan Vassos, will you marry me? Will you be my partner in this incredible journey?" Joan's eyes filled with joyful tears. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. Cheers erupted from hidden friends and family. Their love story, once just a seedling, had blossomed into a promise of forever. Wedding preparations and family ties. Planning the wedding was both a joyful and stressful adventure. Joan wanted an intimate ceremony reflecting their shared values: love, family, and community. Chock's family embraced Joan warmly, admiring her strength and kindness. Joan's children, initially cautious, saw how happy their mother was and gave their blessings. The couple incorporated traditions from both their lives, a fusion of classic elegance and modern charm. From choosing the perfect floral arrangements to tasting cakes, every detail was infused with love. The wedding day. On a crisp autumn afternoon, beneath a canopy of amber leaves, Joan walked down a petal-strewn aisle towards Chock. The sunset cast a golden glow on everything. Chock looked at her with awe and tenderness. "You're the love of my life," he whispered. Vows were exchanged, promises made, and as they sealed their union with a kiss, guests erupted in applause. The reception was a joyful celebration: music, laughter, and heartfelt speeches. Joan and Chock danced their first dance to a soulful ballad, surrounded by family and friends. A new chapter together. Married life brought new adventures. Joan and Chock balanced their careers, philanthropy, and passion projects with their growing love. They traveled to exotic destinations, volunteered together, and continued to inspire fans worldwide with their story of second chances. Joan often reflected on how love had found her when she least expected it, and Chock cherished every moment with his remarkable wife. Together, they proved that love doesn't have an expiration date, it only grows richer with time. Weathering the storms. Life wasn't always perfect. As much as Joan and Chock's love was a beacon of hope, they faced challenges like any couple. A few months after the wedding, Joan received news about her mother's declining health. The weight of family responsibility settled heavily on her shoulders. Chock, ever supportive, stepped in as her rock. One evening, sitting by the fireplace in their cozy home, Joan let her guard down. "I don't know if I'm strong enough," she admitted, her voice trembling. Chock took her hand gently. "You're the strongest person I know, and you're not alone. We're in this together." Their bond deepened in those quiet moments of vulnerability. Joan realized that love wasn't just about the perfect kisses and candlelit dinners, it was about standing side by side through life's storms. Building a blended family. Joan's children initially struggled to accept Chock, uncertain if this new man would truly fit into their family dynamic. But Chock's patience and genuine affection won them over. Family dinners became lively affairs, filled with laughter, teasing, and the occasional debate over football versus art. Joan and Chock worked hard to create an environment where everyone felt loved and valued. "Mom, I'm glad you're happy," her daughter said one evening, her eyes sincere. "That means the world to me," Joan replied, tears of gratitude welling. Giving back together. One of the most inspiring aspects of Joan and Chock's relationship was their shared commitment to philanthropy. They co-founded a foundation to support women's empowerment and youth sports programs, combining their passions and experiences. At a gala event, Joan gave a heartfelt speech. "Love changed my life. It gave me courage to dream again. With Chock by my side, we hope to inspire others to believe in second chances, in love, in life." The room erupted in applause. Chock's proud smile said it all. Romantic getaway. To celebrate their first anniversary, Joan and Chock escaped to a secluded beachfront villa in Maui. The gentle waves and balmy breeze set the perfect scene for rekindling romance. One afternoon, as the sun melted into the horizon, Chock surprised Joan with a private dinner on the sand. "Every day with you feels like a new beginning," he whispered, brushing her hair behind her ear. Joan smiled, feeling cherished beyond words. "I never thought I'd find this kind of love again." They danced barefoot under the stars, the ocean serenading their joy. The unexpected surprise. Months later, Joan received an invitation to return as a guest on The Golden Bachelorette, not as a contestant, but as a mentor. She hesitated, unsure if reliving the spotlight was wise. But Chock encouraged her. "This is your moment to shine and help others find what you found." On the show, Joan shared her story of resilience, heartbreak, and ultimate triumphs. She offered guidance to hopeful contestants, her wisdom resonating deeply. Off-camera, Chock supported her every step, proud of the woman he loved. A test of trust. Despite their happiness, trust was tested when a rumor surfaced online suggesting Chock was hiding a secret past. Joan was shaken. "Why would someone try to hurt us like this?" Chock reassured her with unwavering honesty. Together, they faced the rumors head-on, emerging stronger. "Love means trusting each other, even when the world tries to tear us apart," Chock said firmly. "Growing old gracefully together." Years passed. Joan and Chock celebrated milestones, anniversaries, birthdays, quiet mornings with coffee, and wild adventures. They learned that love's true magic was in the everyday moments, the shared smiles, the comforting hugs, the unwavering support. Sitting on their porch one golden afternoon, Joan rested her head on Chock's shoulder. "I'm so grateful for every moment with you," she whispered. "Me too, my love. Here's to many more."